Sup home skillets, welcome to another live stream. It's young Jacob. Sup Jacob, how goes your long weekend? It's all pretty quiet here, all very quiet actually. So tonight we're going to make some fresh pasta. We're going to use a pasta attachment I actually haven't used before, so we're going to make spaghetti, I think. And to that we are going to make a creamy garlic and prawn stir-through kind of sauce. And then along with that we'll make some bruschettas with some bread that I've just made. So they're the two main dishes, and then I'm looking, it's not going to take very long, so I think we'll look around for something else to do. I'm thinking like a roast broccoli, something. I don't know. We'll have a look through the cookbook. Great. Mine is good. Mine is. It's been very quiet. Very quiet indeed. Sup, Has Jazz. We Has Jazz and Boomshine and I were just discussing Ding Bottom's. Wait, Carl. No. Potentials for Ding Bottom's birthday present, because he turns 70 this year, which is startling. You want to go out, Carl? What are you guys having for dinner? I had a craving for arancini so much that I did also consider making some arancini tonight as well, but I think the pasta will do well enough for the carb side of things. Yeah, so like I said, we're going to make the pasta from scratch, but that is not going to take very long. I just need to double check that. No, it's this one. So this is the spaghetti attachment. This is the one I've not used before. It's got the wrong thing out. Maybe we'll make some damn cocktails. Soup and sausage casserole. We had Shelley made a curried sausage casserole for lunch. Made me feel quite British. Yes, do like a good old sausage casserole. There was one also I was considering. I've done it before on stream, long time ago. Actually, it's Italian as well. So from Puglia, so southern Italy. Like a fennel sausage and potato bake, kind of like a casserole. Rainbow peanut stir fry. What the hell's this? Where do you get your rainbow peanuts from? I assume that we just use this in the same way, but on this rare occasion I am actually just going to refer to the directions. That's in Spanish or something. But I think we just roll the pasta relatively flat, and then we put it through the spaghetti cutter. Noodle width 2 mil, spaghetti thin. Yeah, I don't want like angel hair or capellini. I think we'll just run with it. Saw the recipe on Instagram. It's just rainbow veggies and satay sauce with tofu and noodles. Well, that does sound good. Shelley is on the couch, ensconced on the couch. Although she did have to work a little bit today, which is always sad. Always sad. Oh yeah, that's right. I'd thought actually maybe like a biscotti or something like that. It's just, and I have hazelnuts. Actually, let's just have a look, because I've got a lot of hazelnuts. Just as a side, something to sort of lighten the pasta up. GH hazelnuts. Hazelnut filled baked trout. Can't do that. Got no trout. One hazelnut cake, 183. You haven't touched the computer all weekend. Well, that's good. Your RSI and your cardiovascular system will appreciate that, certainly. But yeah, it's just so cold because so it's next week, I'm gonna say, winter solstice happens. Is it next week? So we're coming up on the darkest day of the year. Eggs, no, low on eggs. Bread and cake, actually out of capers as well. God damn it. Cod. I've not cooked much cod. I actually saw in here there was like a cabbage and walnut salad, which was almost identical to the one that I made up the other night. So that was pleasing. But yeah, I think by the time, I mean, we've had a couple of minus sub-zero days, but what are we? Doesn't look like for the next week it's going to be too much worse than that. Perhaps we're in it for a very mild winter. Chestnuts. I don't have any chestnuts. And I think actually carrying on with this, Jacob, if you're still there, we'll do some historical Italian cooking. So it's still Italian but more Roman. There's been looking at a recipe for ancient, sort of like the precursor to pizza, I suppose. So that might be coming up this week as well. I've sort of fallen out of sequence for like whole themed weeks, and I just really wanted to make spaghetti tonight. So yeah, cod. I don't think I've ever had it. In Discord, was it Seb? Someone was talking about baked trout. We had that up in Jindabyne, and that was really quite nice. Porcini. I think we'll just make something up. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind. I think we'll turn the oven on for this. Yeah, it was a baked rainbow trout with, was it mash and salad on the side? Really quite nice. It was the whole fish too, so, I mean, there's a lot of, bones to get through and so on, but, yeah. There's a new, well not new, a YouTube channel that I've started following recently called Spain on a Fork. I'm not sure what his deal is. He seems quite young, and he just does sort of Spanish home cooking recipes. And so I must have used a couple when we did Spain Week a couple of months ago. Spanish is very similar to provincial Spanish is very similar to provincial Italian. It seems to me. I'll use this for something else. Yeah, something with pumpkin tomorrow. Yeah, pumpkin. We've got a decent amount of pumpkin. But I remember Ma cooking rainbow trout on the Weber at Cafe 49. Mum was not interested. Yeah, very med. Whoa, whoa. This camera's not. And I don't remember hating it. So that's good. And then, but since then I've, I eat a lot more. Well, I actually eat fish. And to me, it seemed like trout was pretty close. If you're looking for sort of fatty, kind of oily fish that aren't too fishy, trout seemed pretty close to salmon to me. My cooking bar is still screwed, so I'm going to reset that. Yeah, so I made a sourdough. Actually, that's something we'll have to do. I need to give feed the sourdough starter. I let it sit for much longer than what I normally do, and it became quite sour. In a good way, because in the past I'd kept it so active that it wasn't really noticeably sour with what I was cooking, so I left it for a bit longer, and it certainly did, but for some reason it just didn't want to rise as much as it normally does. So these are quite flat, but we can work around it. The texture's good, the taste is good. And because this is fresh pasta, this is going to come together pretty quickly. So I sort of have to hold off on kicking it all off. Whoa. Don't want to get too carried away, basically. Wow, that's a big mozzarella. I think it's all just one. Yeah. Probably half of that. Back in the fridge you go. Vector is with your foot forward yet? Were you here? Was it the night before last? I went out and planted some garlic. And good to see you. Welcome, by the way. So we have over 30 garlic plants coming along now. It's going to take a while, but when they're done, it's going to be a bloody garlic celebration. I'm not sure Guitar Go Gaming is paying attention, Jacob. He's probably asleep. I don't know him, but I think I mentioned before. So he's a developer for Touch Portal, which is the iPad app that I use to control this stream. What's happening? What's happening over your way, Victor? Might help the garlic if you apply a tourniquet and then rush it to my nearest garden centre. Well, I feel like, yeah, given how well it went last time, I'm absolutely sold on it as a main crop that I grow. And I planted them really close together this season because, yeah, it seems to me like just looking at the footprint of a fully blown garlic bulb is rarely bigger than that, and at home growing they're not big. So this idea of this 20 centimeter gap between the plants, I've only given them like 10 centimeters tops, I think. So this is leek that we're going to use in the pasta sauce. But yeah, on the garlic note, unfortunately we are still using our crushed garlic from a jar. But in a pinch, do what you gotta do. Oh, Dario SMB, thanks for the videos. Well, thank you for the bits. And what videos? Because I do put VODs of this up occasionally. I have a whole bunch that I haven't published because the bulk of my material on YouTube is Monkey Island related. But either way, thank you very much for the bits and welcome to the stream. And do you cook? Or are you just living vicariously? Yes, always good to see a new face, and especially when they bring bits to the game. Yeah, so welcome and make yourself comfortable. Indeed. Vector is switching rooms with your sister, which means boxing up all your stuff and then ripping out the carpet. And then, oh man, that's a mission. We, about a year ago now, we replaced all the carpet here, and it's pretty gross underneath. We are doing we're about to roll out some pasta, and we're going to do a garlic prawn or garlic shrimp pasta and some bruschetta for the side. And then also I'm going to some roast broccoli as well, but I haven't decided what. Roast broccoli, walnut, something. I haven't decided. Yeah, absolutely don't regret putting sort of like, you know, faux timber down, like vinyl to timber. It's been amazing. It really has been. It doesn't get cold. It sits down nicely. It's easy to clean when the cats throw up on it. It's a win-win for everyone, I reckon. And it wasn't that expensive either. Dario is a cook. I'm not a cook. Maybe I could be in a parallel universe. What's the context of the cooking? Is it like we're talking like a cafe restaurant or a hotel or military or something? And boxing up all your belongings and moving. It's surprising how much you can fit into a room. Hazelnuts or walnuts? I think walnuts. See, that's the trick, isn't it? You know, and then the question is, oh well, what's the one thing you really should throw away? And I don't know if I'd have an answer for you, to be honest. I do have a stack of books that I have isolated that I'll give to like we have these little. I don't know where you're from, but in in my city, or in Australia more generally, there's like these little community library kind of things. They're like little containers on streets where people put their spare books, and you can just go and get books out of them. But even then, it's only like, I don't know, a dozen books or something like that. Yeah, I don't think I have anything. Zoidenberger coming in with 100 bits and the suggestion of the Bush Library. Yeah, indeed. And we have recently added a book to the collection, courtesy of Zoidberg here. So, yeah, running out of room. But, yeah, I don't think there is much, really, that I would throw away. Oh, cool. 2 off-site storage lockers are full of her stuff. Wow. So the good thing, like, so I have a garage here, but it's not particularly weatherproof or anything. So anything I put in there like has to be resilient, or it will die. So it does like physically limit the amount of stuff, or at least I like to think so. Yeah, that's part of why I was thinking about collecting the ancient, like the Roman coins and Greek coins, because they don't take up a huge amount of space. A lot less space than a pinball machine, anyway. What's on the menu over at Zoidenberger HQ? Zoidenberg. Prawns is what I need. So we are just going to use some frozen prawns this evening. I found recently, like the past couple of bags I bought have been pretty good. You know, does it taste and is the texture the same as fresh? No, but yeah, it's only 4:30. That's a good point. That is a good point. So if you're defrosting frozen prawn like this, it's good to put water. You want to make the water a bit briny. Maybe you can get some Thai from Tips. That's something fresh and interesting. Something new. Something a bit different. Don't Australian garages just put Xenomorphs? Yeah, they can. I was reading, not a horror story, but a story of some guys that had gone to, there was an old pinball collection that was stored in sheds, and possums had like basically turned the pinball machines into nests. Really, the most dangerous spiders, the most alien-looking things that you could get, I suppose, generally they're going to be out in the garden rather than inside. Snakes don't tend to, they'll stay in grass or away from... I mean, the thing about Australia is, like, everything that can kill you, it tends not to hang around with humans, which is fortunate. Wolfie is here as well. Excellent. I hope you're enjoying your long weekend. And specific, like in where I'm in Canberra, really, it's just down to 2 things. It's redback spiders, and brown snakes are the sort of like the main things that, when people from overseas ask me, it's like, what could kill you? Redbacks, although, we have anti-venom for redbacks, so I don't think anyone in Australia has died from a redback bite since the 80s, I'm going to say. And they're so small, and they're so passive, like they're not an aggressive animal at all. They just want to be left alone, and they don't really move very fast. Yeah. Yeah, redbacks aren't aggressive, and they're small, and they just stay in the backyard underneath, bricks and logs and stuff. They really don't care. They're actually quite like, you know, I wouldn't say, oh, I'd ever have a spider as a pet, say, but I think like they're impressive. They look quite elegant. Yeah. And then brown snakes, you know, as long as you don't step on one, you'll be right. She'll be right, mate. I think the black widow's a different species. I think black widows are bigger. And they're red because it's like a red, almost looks like an hourglass kind of thing. I've never, no. Well, I mean, you would if you, so I have killed one, like a long time ago, my girlfriend at the time. Well, actually, there was a redback in my bed. Good story. Not sure how it got there. In fact, it is exactly the location, has Jazz, where your bed is right now. And there was a redback in it, and it bit my girlfriend on the back, on the spine. Don't know how it got there. She got quite sick, and we did take it, you know, she did go to hospital, got anti-venom and treatment and stayed overnight, but probably was in no danger of dying. But I did kill that one, or at least I think I did. Yeah, so I mean, the reason why that one died was because when I saw it on her back, it sort of, I thought it was like a piece of, you know, like a piece of black lint or something, because it's not the context you expect to be seeing a redback. It was on her back, and then it unrolled, and I saw the legs and the red, and she was already starting to be a bit odd, like she'd got a headache and she was just being a bit strange. And then when that happened, I saw what it was, and mushed it, or like knocked it off her back and then squished it. But normally I wouldn't do that. And also, yeah, she hated spiders, so I actually didn't tell her immediately because I wasn't sure like how she'd react, and I didn't really want her to like panic or like the blood like the heart rate to go up. So I said, oh, you know, it looks like you've been bitten by a bug or a spider or something. Let me just go and get you an ice pack, and went upstairs and called like the poisons hotline and then the hospital, and then sort of explain what the situation was. So not mortal risk, but not much fun. Ebola. You've been roped in by Vector. I was thinking of the Vectrix. Well, welcome. Glad to see you here, and I appreciate your participation in this matter. So what we're going to do is get ourselves. Now that we're done talking with spiders, that's not going to be big enough. Let's talk roast broccoli action. Little blobler. Those are walnuts indeed, yep. So we're going to do like a mixture of roast walnut and broccoli, I reckon. Just because I was looking for a side, and that was pretty much all that was there. But so once we get this going, we'll look at getting the pasta on. So I've got the dough sitting aside. I'll move the pasta maker over here, and then we can watch as it unfolds. So like I said, I haven't used the spaghetti attachment before. I'm in Canberra, is where we are. So yeah, we're just trying to catalogue the most lethal local things. I would say cars, to be honest. It's probably more dangerous. But yeah, so that is literally, you know, how old am I? 37. In my entire life, that is the only story that I have for you where something dramatic has happened because of deadly wildlife. I've seen trapdoor spiders up north, so like northern New South Wales and Queensland. And they have been found like as far south as Sydney now. But again, same sort of deal. Like funnel webs, trapdoors. They just live in their little trapdoor house and tend not to bother people. Trapdoors are in Canberra. All right. So you're Australian as well. Ebola. The Ebola virus. And yeah, definitely now. So the bees, I saw them out briefly today when the sun was on the hive, but no, it's too. Oh, it's 11 degrees. This is sort of like the edge of where they're like, no, it's too cold. I'm staying at home. All right, let's get some sourdough. Do you want to say hello to all the new people, Sooty? So we have a couple of cats. Oh, this is Sooty. Sooty. He's my good friend. I'll say hello to the internet, Sooty. Would you like a prawn? Wait, have I missed out on chat here? Don't call me late for dinner. That's funny. Boops, he does love that. Actually, like I've had a bit of an allergic reaction on my forehead because he's spending a lot of time just mushing into my head today. So that's Sooty. And I think Carl's just gone home. Oh no, Carl is still here. We'll introduce you to Carl shortly. And then I think Angst is out for the afternoon. He's been spending a lot of time in his premium hobo cat box. So this is sourdough I made last night. Yeah, for some reason it just didn't rise like it normally does, but crumb is good, texture is good, flavour, a nice sourness to it, poppy seeds, but yeah, it just did not rise like it normally does. It was pretty cold. I gave it quite a bit of time, but it just wasn't doing what it needed to do, but it tastes fine, so we'll use it as bruschetta. We'll toast it under the grill first though, I think. So for the next week or so, I'm not sure. I'm thinking I would like to continue on so it was inspired by Jacob's suggestions of Italian, but I do think we will return to the cookbook that Zoidenberger has donated, which is, once all this is in the oven, we'll have a look through it and see what else looks appealing. Where is it? Yeah, the Necro Nom Nom Nom. So we did do one stream just using this, and it was good. But I haven't returned to it since, so I think, yeah, either tomorrow or Wednesday we'll do something more out of this. I did say something to that effect, Wolfie. And it has occurred to me we just need a handful or two of herbs for this pasta sauce. So I'm thinking we go outside while it's still light. We don't need much. And I'm not following a particular recipe here. This is sort of just a freestyle thing we got going. So we're going to do that. Yeah, I've taken to like setting the dough on top of the coffee machine and then turning that on and hoping for the best. Melbourne as well. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Wolfie, you're old beyond your years, wise beyond your ears, wise but behind your ears. Let's go for a stroll. I want chives, and I want sage. I think that's it. Well, actually I can show you, because so this gets in the way, but when I turn it on I can sort of balance it, kind of takes a little bit of the ambient heat. Alright, let's go outside. Sooty can. Where's your friend? Hello, Carl. I don't need a basket, I just need... And for those who are new, then I can introduce you to the chickens. Hello. So Dottie is the white one, and then you got Violet and Veruca. Hello, chums. Say hello to randos on the internet. Whoop. What do you reckon? They're going to give you some bits. I'm going to give you some bits. I don't think so. Might just give them a bit of grain, actually. Hang on. Let's do that. And then here's the beehive. Hang on, I'm just going to get some chicken food. Oh God, sorry. That is terrible camera work. Okay, that's not going to work. Food for birds. So in order of preference, it's generally corn, sunflower seed, then everything else. Alright, so I want some sage. Not much, this is just for the sauce. And then these are the... Well, actually, that's very dead rosemary that needs... Zoidenberger, this was the, if you're still there, the chives that I'm... So that was a cockatoo. Oh my God. So if you're, so if you're not from Australia, these are some of our bigger birds. This is a sulfur-crested cockatoo. Sound like dinosaurs, scare chickens. Pretty skittish, but we have a lot of them. So, yeah, that will do. How long do they live for? Because yeah, they're pretty big animals. Jeez. Okay. Thanks for the follow, Bulba. The old Ebola virus. Yeah, that's ages. I didn't know it was that long. Yeah, indeed. Do you attend PAX? That is something that's on our list of sort of semi-post-COVID things to do, because I had, until COVID, gone to every single PAX. Egg Bowl Bob. Egg Bowl Bob. Oh, how exciting. Yeah, okay. Awesome. Yeah, we weren't sure what the whole landscape was going to look like. I'm going back to work just before PAX kind of kicks off, and I will still have leave. But yeah, our intention is to go, but maybe not for the full 3 days this time around. I'll have to. I meant to Google it. Yeah, no, that was funny, and I appreciate it. Yeah, been to every PAX. I just couldn't believe it when they announced it. The first one, which was at the horse racing track that I've forgotten the name of. Forgotten the name of it. And it just ever since, it's just a really positive couple of days, you know, filled with stuff that I like. And I have family down in Melbourne that I pretty much only see when I go down there. So yeah, it's been weird not being able to go. So this is the Sage. No, oh, so the Caulfield Cup was on, actually, I think it was like the third year. I was trying to get the train home, or like back to where I was staying, and the Caulfield Cup had just finished. Flemington is the place. And there were just so many drunk people throwing up at the train station I was at, and the trains were just full of them. So I let the next two trains go by. I was like, nah, this ain't for me. But at Flemington, so it was, you know, their first PAX here. It was raining, it was cold, it was wet, it was awesome. I feel that was like 2012? But that's where, so that first year, so we had Ron Gilbert doing the keynote, so he did story time, so that's the mind behind Monkey Island. And then at that time, I went to a talk by Mick Gordon, so he did the soundtrack to the new Dooms, so Doom Eternal, but also Killer Instinct. And during that talk, he actually set up a microphone, like a recorder, and we all made like environmental sounds, the whole crowd, and he recorded them and used them in the soundtrack. So that was pretty friggin' awesome. What are the highlights? Tripod with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, or they had like a quartet in the evening, and it was actually pre-recorded, but Austin Wintory chimed in for that, which was friggin' sweet. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. And everyone's happy, you know, like everyone's just having a good time. Okay, bread. Sooty. Well, that one didn't get done enough. You want a snack, do you, Sooty? Oh, shout out to Austin Wintry. How the hell did that happen? That's something I would. That's something I'd do. Oh, Carl, hello. Ow, ow, ow. You want some food? Whoa. Mick Gordon is literally the only person ever that I've ever asked for a photo with, and I was so embarrassed. And it took me like 20 minutes to actually, not because I thought he'd do it, but I'm just like, I just feel a little bit silly doing it. Lovely guy. Bought the Monaco soundtrack via bank. Oh, no, that's interesting. Huh. Because he still pushes his stuff out by Bandcamp, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, quality music, some of the best, I would say. I ended up talking to I'm actually not sure if he's done any games recently, but he has performed with Mick Gordon, so Sonic Mayhem, Sasha Dickasayan, if that's how it's pronounced. So he did, like, if you think Quake 3, just so much stuff, and really was on. Sonic Mayhem was sort of like he was right at the inflection point between where video game music went from being one guy who has also had other jobs to we have budget enough to actually pay someone to make good music for it. And so you think, so it's probably around like Metal Gear Solid 2. So that's going to be like what, 1999 or something like that. So where Harry Gregson Williams did that soundtrack, and that was like one of the first kind of major crossovers between modern Hollywood production aesthetics and the amount of money injected into it to produce a Hollywood-style soundtrack for a computer game. Interesting. Call of Cthulhu. So, hang on, which one? Because let me Google that. Because it was a while ago, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Call of Cthulhu. Oh, 2018. Am I reading that right? Composer Marcus Schmidt. Maybe I don't know this. Interesting. Because the other night when we were doing some the Lovecraft cooking, we were talking about Clive Barker's Undying, Amnesia, Dark Descent, Alan Wake. You know, these games that use, different mechanics to push the story along. Yeah, Jesper Kid would be the other key He's just fantastic. And he's been composing for games for a very long time. Some of the stuff you wouldn't even pick. So, you know Jesper Kyd, obviously, from Assassin's Creed, in particular Assassin's Creed 2, Hitman. But he was composing in the 90s as well. So I think like Batman Returns for the Mega Drive, that's Jesper Kyd. And you wouldn't know it to listen to it. But there's your video game music trivia for the evening. I'll have to check that out, Wolfie. Let's listen to some Jesper Kyd. And his friends, or at least has worked with, so Rom de Pisco. You're sort of getting into the mid to late 90s, or early 90s, like demo scene. Yeah, it's good stuff. But Assassin's Creed 2 is a brilliant soundtrack. Like if I was going to do a top 10, this is absolutely in there. Okay. Let us talk. What are we talking? And I think it was inevitable. Going back to what we were saying about Metal Gear Solid. Once you get that Harry Gregson, so Harry Gregson Williams kind of was protege of Hans Zimmer, and so quite recently it's going to be a Call of Duty Modern Warfare title. I can't remember which one, but Hans Zimmer did the main theme to that. But even as far back, actually, there's someone. So Chris Vrenna, so the drummer for Nine Inch Nails, he composed the soundtrack to American McGee's Alice. And I spent some time talking to him, actually. Really, really quite nice guy. But so, yeah, late 90s, you start to see A-listers, like big names, start to cross over into the video game music world. And it makes sense. Yeah, Kingdom of Heaven, that's another classic. That's another classic. I was actually listening to some of that the other day, and so here, since we're on very, very esoteric trivia that no one else cares about, but in Kingdom of Heaven, there is a track, I can't remember what it's called, I'll look it up, which is actually a direct copy. It's the same track that Hans Zimmer composed for Hannibal. And I've always wanted to ask either of them how that sort of came about. But yeah, they both worked for the same company, Hans Zimmer's company, at about that time. Actually, I'm going to have to look it up now. Kingdom of Heaven. Kingdom of Heaven. Sorry, if I don't find this now, it's going to bug me. No. Berlin, that is a fantastic cue. So I don't think it's to Jerusalem. No. The King? No. I'll get back to you on that, but it is in there. Yeah, Via de Colmeum. Yeah, that's the track from Hannibal. Look at that. You know what? Everyone who wants me to read chat from now on should give 100 100 bits. Yeah, it's Via Decorum, which is based on a Dante Alighieri poem, but I just don't know what it is on Kingdom of Heaven. Bugger. Well, we'll get back to you on that. It's a good movie. It's an underrated movie. Alright, let's clear the decks and make some bloody pasta. We can start the sauce. Let's start the sauce. Oh, burn away. There is a version of that soundtrack with that track included. Maybe it's not whatever's on Apple right now. But yeah, when I heard it, I was like, what's going on here? What's the damn deal? Actually, Seb, I started watching Aliens last night. Just to confirm that you had the wrong idea. And I can indeed confirm it. No, not finished. I wanted to do some reading instead. I was trying to work out, how many times I've seen it. It's got to be coming up on like 10 times. It's definitely... I feel comfortable saying like 7 times, I guess. That's what you've got to do with good movies. Is watch them a couple of times. Maybe that's your problem. Maybe you just haven't watched it enough. Yeah. All right, so pasta. People say that about Alien 3 as well. I think it actually has. It's got more to it than a lot of people say. The thing that weirds me out about Alien 3 is more about how if Alien and Aliens were so popular, Alien 3 is, obviously such a lower budget title. It's a weird place for it to end up. Okay, let's talk dough. So this is egg-based pasta dough. It's 125 grams of strong flour, 2 eggs, a couple of tablespoons of water, and half a teaspoon of salt. This is the most reliable fresh pasta dough recipe that I can bring to you. Oh, there's the little lock. Yeah, so when I bought this, I was a little bit nervous. There's jokes abound about getting pasta makers. We already had the KitchenAid, but these attachments, it's something you buy once and then never use again. I think the difference in fresh pasta versus dried is significant enough that it's driven me to use it on a regular basis. So we do the sheets first. The only thing I don't like about it is these majiggas, you can't put them in the dishwasher, which is annoying. So I found the best way is really just rolling out rolling the sheets out flat first, and then doing the forming. This will be a little bit noisy, but there's nothing I can do about it, so you're just gonna have to put up with it. So this dough has been kneaded already, but folding it over and passing it through at the lowest setting, a couple of times makes a huge difference. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot doing it faster than doing it by hand, I'll tell you that much for free. Oh no, hang on, let me I can try, did I set up the mute button? Hang on, I'll press the mute button and it should play some elevator music. Hang on, let us see. Stupid Seb. Now I don't know if I... can't remember what the current song is, to be honest. Hang on, I'm going to check. I can stop for a second. What did I actually do? It is... Whoa. Or did I not have music and it's all just a big joke? It's nothing but a gag. Yeah. All right, well, that's good. We've learnt something together this evening. I never ended up setting a proper playlist for that. There's going to be some sea shanties. Just you wait. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, almost done. we will take our leave and go. It's the group. Oops. It's the Auckland Sea Shanty Society, I think. Or we could listen to the Pogues, although not quite sea shanty. I feel like it's in a similar vein. Okay, 4. And then 5. One more. I suppose we'll have to do like a nautical themed, because I did, it being what, the Queen's Jubilee / birthday, fake birthday, I think, today. Yeah, some old English sea music wouldn't go astray. Okay. So one of the key things with the fresh pasta is, that's the wrong one, is using the right wazzer. But you do need to keep it dusted, because if it sits for too long it does become a bit, like the noodles will stick together basically. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what it does. Whoa! Oh, hello, noodles. Hello, Spaghetti-O. Is that not spaghetti? Is that not spaghetti? I think you'll find that it is. Is this not spaghetti? Yeah, that worked flawlessly. Check out the skitty.
Whoa, that's difficult.
Super spitty. Super spaghetti. That's how they do it in Italy.
Looks like spaghettini.
Spaghettini. That's how you have to say it. Oh, yes. Ah, that is pleasing. That is what you want to see. Yes. Excellent. The system works. All right, let's get rid of this. So fresh pasta does not take like a minute, no more than 2 minutes to cook. So that does change how we season things a little bit. So I think so now that I've gone through all of them, I think what I'm going to do, next step, we might do some, like a bulk batch and dry it. But if that's not spaghetti, I don't know what is. So I found coming back to it and sort of jiggering it around occasionally stops it all clagging up. Cool. Okay, we're going to go BRB, and when we return we are going to be cooking it all up. So stand by. we have returned. Okay, so the rest of this is not going to take very long. What are we at? We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. Checks out. Oh God. Let's get the sauce. No, actually, what we'll do. Yeah. So, broccoli, walnuts, olive oil, salt and pepper. Roast them. Roast them and serve them forth. So that's leek and garlic. Into the leek and garlic we will put the chives and sage that we just harvested from the garden. Now it's just occurred to me that I don't think we have any basil. Well, that's okay. So I'm putting the herbs in at this stage with the oil and the leek because I want the heat to get the herbs before we add any of the cream. We want the heat to activate the oils in the herbs. So if you had like fresh garlic, you would slice up a clove and then rub it on it, kind of like and use the toast as almost like a sandpaper. Yes. Drain the prawns. Sotos, welcome back. Good to see you. What's the haps at your end of town? What's on the menu tonight? So it's what I ask all my viewers. I don't know, just like the sound of it. And I think I used the last of the parsley in the stock that we did live the other night. So we're down to just mozzarella and tomato and garlic. But it's not a bad problem to have, I would suggest. Yep. You know what we can do? We can liven this up a little bit with cognac. We could use vermouth. I think I'm going to use cognac, and we can set fire to it as well. So we've learned our lessons from previous streams. Yeah, it really does, like, obviously correlate to the alcohol content of a thing. But I really have been enjoying this Muco cognac. Really quite nice. It's got sooty on the front, so it's even got the fat little sooty belly. But cognac and seafood, I think goes really quite well. Oh! And that is flambe prawns. So the reason you do that is for two reasons. Well, ostensibly the first reason is removing the alcohol from the mixture. It really doesn't matter. It will all boil. So it'll all boil off by the time that you're finished cooking. But you do get a touch of the Maillard reaction with it, and it smells fantastic. So now we'll add some cream. And at this stage, I'm actually going to turn the heat off because I don't want the prawns to cook too much. Well, I'll let the cream come up to heat, but I don't want the prawns to cook any further. Because you can very, very easily overdo it, especially when they're from frozen. And then the thickening for this is actually going to come from the pasta water. Because the spaghetti we've got here is coated in flour. When we boil it, we can just take some of the boiling water that's had the flour mixed into it and cooked for a bit, and then mix that into the sauce, and that will be our thickener. All right, let's heat some water up. And so while we did put garlic in here, the chives are going to be the star of the show, I feel. Okay. We're about 25 minutes away from completion, I'm going to say. You never. That is absolutely true, Wolfie. That is absolutely true. Yeah, and I think things like cognac. I mean, you could use anything. So vermouth would be the other one. We used some vermouth in the risotto the other night. You could use gin. Like it's really just. When you're using it in cooking like this, it's not going to dominate. It's not going to be the dominant flavour. It just adds something additional to it. You know what? While I'm here, maybe it's cocktail time. Monkey shoulder. I think monkey shoulder is probably my favourite Scotch, like consumer Scotch. I think there's a lot to be said for it. Yeah, we do as well. Yeah. Oh, do you have the recipe for it? And if so, is this something I should cook? Yeah, I actually haven't done a viewer session, like a viewer recipe, for ages. You know what, Wolfie? Actually, yeah, let's do that. How about you tell me what you normally cook, and I'll cook it. I think that is a good deal. Now, I was about to say I'm going to make a Manhattan, but oh yeah, I do. I've got egg whites, yes, but I don't have any lemon. Two main things I eat, but both have meat there. That's okay. One is steak and one is chicken, yes. Like, I feel like I can, because it's not like we don't eat meat at all. So, I think now after, like, what has this been, almost a year? No, it's been more than a year. It hasn't limited what I've done, because we've come across heaps of interesting things since. But the classics, yeah, like steak. I was thinking the other day, so I was looking at a recipe. So Darren O'Grady, Chef O'Grady, used to cook for the Queen and Diana. He was Diana's chef. And there's a Gaelic steak, and I have done that on stream. It was before we stopped eating meat, and yeah, it's been a long time since I've had a steak, and I do miss it. I do miss it. Okay, that can just sit for a bit. Georgiopolis does have a lemon tree out back. So I'll show you a Manhattan, which is sort of in the, for old school, like original style whiskey cocktails. You have your old fashioned Manhattan. Whiskey sour probably comes into that as well, but this is a good way to have whiskey, and it's really quite simple. So where an old fashioned would just be whiskey and sugar, Manhattan is whiskey, sweet vermouth, and bitters. Yeah, I got this a while ago. So 2 to 1, basically. And then a sweet vermouth. Coles for Angostura, some bitters can be sweeter than others, but say like 3 squirts. Whoop, that's on my finger. I've been trying to, so there's a few places in Victoria and in Queensland that do kind of like on-demand wild caught meats, so wild boar, venison, rabbit, and so on. And you know, at the end of the day, the prices aren't that expensive, but getting it shipped to Canberra, like going through all the process, it's like another $90. Like it's quite expensive. There's actually a recipe in the Elder Scrolls cookbook that calls for venison. I mean, the other way to think about it is like all the money that I haven't spent on buying meat. You know, you save up and use that money a couple of times a year to buy really expensive, sort of, you know, ethical meat, I guess you want to call it that. So that could be a thing. But yeah, so this is a Manhattan. Normally you would take the ice cubes out. Yeah, it's a really, man, monkey shoulder is good. This is a good way to have whiskey. It's like a few steps back from a sour. Sweetness comes from the vermouth. We don't have the lemon in it, but you have the sort of the tangy acidityness from the whiskey, and then you get the zang from the bitters. Really, it's one of my favorite cocktails, to be honest. Okay, so let's wrap it up, Muriel. Let's have a look at the broccoli. Yes, I want it to be charred. And the Linda McCartney quarter pounder substitutes has been a revelation we came across. I don't know, Shelley just bought it one time randomly from Woolworths or something, and I'd pick it every time. It's not very healthy, but what burger is? What else are we listening to? Darksiders. That's another classic Jesper Kyd right there. I think it's one of his better ones, to be honest. Oh yes, that is a good suggestion. After this song. We want enough water that the pasta rolls around in it. And it needs to be seasoned. Imagine sailing in a ship called the Billy of Tea. Whoa! Now that's a Stephen Preston emote if ever I saw one. Let's taste the sauce. Yeah, that's pretty good. Give it just a touch of salt and pepper. Whoops. Oh yeah, I've got capuchin on there. It should just, I think you just need more emotes. Let me have a look. Can I do it to my own channel? There you go. Have some bouncing bowls. All right, let's have some Risk of Rain. I'm tempted to Risk of Rain 2? Risk of Rain. I used to listen to this quite a bit back in the day. When it's good question. I don't have any good like ideas for one or some at this stage. I haven't asked him. Like I've still got the little those icons there they're all from my cookbook. There are some more. Actually, yes. So like the master chef, master chief with the chef's hat. I think I could probably do that. A bowl of purple noodles. Hang on, let me let me add it to do new emotes. Why isn't Mixter in here? Sooty, a chicken. I put in a, on Discord, you can see I do, thanks to your boost, I put in a stack of new stickers. What do we got? So there is a feral chicken from Monkey Island. A bee, that makes perfect sense. Why the hell haven't I thought of that until now? Okay, hang on, let's write it down. A bee, sooty, a bowl of purple noodles. And I said something hilarious, but I just forgot what it was. Alright, well, that's a start. So I want this on a rolling boil before we get too carried away. Broccoli and everything is going to come out. Yes, that's exactly what you want. Cool. Has there ever been a dish that's failed on stream? Yeah, so the one that got me was these stupid artichokes. From, it was like the Greedy Italians cookbook. Something weird, I just didn't do it right. And I didn't prepare the artichokes properly. And they were just like just chewing on the side of a tree or something. It was just garbage. A couple of months ago, I did some experimental like molecular gastronomy. So we attempted to make like reverse spherified. How do I explain it? It's like gel globules with a liquid in the middle. But that was kind of just an experimental thing. But yeah, the artichokes is the one that stands out for me. That was not good. I pretended it was at the time. It did choke me up because I was like, well, if I swallow this, it's going to hurt my tum. Like a horse could have eaten it, maybe, but not me. Yeah. That's might be a bit of a tricky vegetable to design when you're only working with like 15 by 15. Okay, those go in. Okay, artichoke, I'll add that to the list. Oh, we've got something happening here. Oh, it's ding bottom. Better late than never. Saying before, we were discussing in our private channel what to get Dingbottom for his birthday. What grand gift could we procure? Okay, don't let me forget that the bruschetta's under the grill. Yeah, so I think I definitely decided on close to deciding on the main present. Okay, that is pretty much where we need it to be. So our spaghetti, and I guess if Jing Bottom's just joining us, this is the, I hadn't used this pasta attachment before, but this is the spaghetti attachment for my KitchenAid. Seems like pretty convincing spaghetti to me. Really, well, that was that was one of the criteria we were looking at there. So I guess you'll just have to wait and see. All right, pasta goes in. Wait, I need a pasta majigger. I'm still not sure if I like these things. For a good back scratcher perhaps, but anyway. You know, I guess at some point, you know, there are some milestones that you reach in life, and I suppose red letter days. But we're all going to have to save up. We've got a couple of months. They're coming along. Let's get ready. Man, I'm getting really old. It was a very that was my attempt at a diplomatic representation of the temporal situation that you find yourself in currently. So yeah. For those that haven't been around and not in Discord, I've just put up this afternoon a review of the Elder Scrolls cookbook, which we spent some time with a couple of weeks ago. So do check that out. Okay, so this is close. We really only need a few moments more. And Ding Bottom, when do you... Oh, actually, you know, maybe Zoidenberger would be interested. We've got to go and see the new Jurassic Park. Sonic 2 is still playing, just FYI. And that's something that I would like to see. I don't know what the value is to someone who's not seen the first one, because, I mean, it's a movie that is packed with, with intricate and shocking story arcs. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see Sonic 2 without having watched Sonic 1. But that's on my list as well. Alright, this is where I need it to be. We'll get a little bit of the cooking water out of it. And this is to thicken the sauce that we whack on. Whack it on, Muriel. You don't necessarily need to put a cup aside of it because the water will stick to the pasta. But it's more of like a just in case, I suppose. And then just stir through sauce. Now here's the key, the most important thing out of all of this is we let it sit. Don't serve it right away. It's the most important thing. No jokes, you have to let it sit. If you let pasta sit for 5 minutes or so in its sauce, it will change everything. I get, because I listened to some VODs the other night and I can hear myself breathing. It's kind of, yeah. So, maybe the problem is, what happened to my? Vinegar can, but that's for noobs. Zoidenberger. I'm going to heat these up some more. I was talking to Shelley about this the other night. It's the reason why this particular format works for me is because I'm cooking dinner anyway, and so, you know, so I have done some standalone videos on YouTube. I'm very, very tempted after our discussions this morning on Discord with Zoidenberger about scrambled eggs to do a scrambled egg video. Dingbottom would take note of that. But if I do something separate to, you know, 3 nights a week streaming, it changes the whole hobby from being it doesn't get in my way to now I actually have to put a lot of effort in. You know, even the cocktails that I did on YouTube, to make a cocktail that took like less than a minute to make, took like 2 hours to film. So, and I like talking a lot, that's right. I'd be fine not talking, to be honest. But, you know, the people demand it. They demand it. Okay. Otherwise, how would they know what was going on? They wouldn't. Oh, I wish I had something to garnish this with. Wait, what is that? Oh, hello. Hello, parsley. I was not aware. Yeah, I don't think I could get away with a stream that is just me. Maybe I could. Maybe you're onto something there. I don't like those bits. I'm the Vox Populi. I just finished a Imperator Rome mission called Vox Populi today. It's the what's the stupid thing? The quiet Australians, silent Australians. What did Menzies call them? Yeah, well, they should bloody speak up then. It's like in America with the silent majority. It's like, okay, well done, you're the majority. You know, how else do you want me to help you? Well, people do it. Chopping sounds. There's a good Japanese channel that means that has Jazz link me. What's it called? Silent? No, not silent cooking. Peaceful cooking. Wolfie says, horrible realization when I went to film school, the amount of effort it took just to shoot one. Yeah, it was much more than anticipated. Camera, lights, audio, one. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think people don't appreciate it. And the thing is, like now on YouTube especially, it's like I can't get away with just holding my camera and doing it. The production quality that other people are putting out in this sort of niche, I guess, is so high that, you know, and there's a lot of them. Oh, here's one for you, Dingbottom. I don't know if you've seen Seth MacFarlane's new album, Blue Skies. So this is like it's Seth MacFarlane, and it's him singing, crooning. But yeah, and then when I did, what did I do? Like that soup. I did a Monkey Island soup, and that took. So one of my cameras ran out of batteries while I was filming it, so it actually took 2 days, 5-6 hours, and it's a 3-minute video. It's just stupid. Just won't do. Okay. the monkeys are makes me think of does make me think of The Simpsons, where Marge's sisters are, is it Marge's sisters, or some school kids on the bus are telling her the monkeys don't write their own music. Yeah, that's going back a bit in time. I haven't listened to the monkeys for a long time. I will admit to that much. I'm gonna need some tongs. Don't feel too bad about it. Hello, City. I feel you on that front, Wolfie. I've always been in the same kind of boat. Yeah, it's like you know, going to a house party and then everyone just, you know, it's like singing Queen. You know, I like Queen, but it's like I don't. Bohemian Rhapsody, for example, it's like there's been a whole stack of key things. I'm familiar with them now, but back then there was just so much other stuff that I was listening to that, but it wasn't really party material at all. MCR, Fall Out Boy, and Simple Plan. I remember Fall Out Boy. One Direction, K-pop, and Savage Garden. I was listening to some who's the guy from Savage Garden,
Darren Hayes.
Darren Hayes. So he has an album called Spin, which came out in the early 2000s. It's a really good Australian pop album. I think it was produced here, like in Sydney or Melbourne or something. Yeah, no, the stuff that I was just no point even going into it. But yeah, check out Darren Hayes' Spin. That's as relevant as I can get for you at this stage. Whoop noodle. Okay, we're done. This, and before we kick it to the curb. So Darren Hayes' Spin to me sounds like it's a more focused Savage Garden sound that calls on later Michael Jackson style pop, and it's good. I think it is a good pop album. Yeah. So, what did we end up here? Well, we made spaghetti tonight. We made spaghetti with a creamy garlic and prawn sauce. We have our roast broccoli and walnuts, and then we have our bruschetta on the side. I'm pretty sure I know what it'll taste like, but yeah, having never actually made spaghetti from scratch before, I am kind of excited. So let us give it a whack. That was a big mouthful. Yep. 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 Exactly what you'd expect. Bruschetta on the sourdough. No, that's crunchy. There's some ASMR for you. That's good as well. Hooray. I want to live like a cannibal. I don't know that one. I don't know that one at all. Yeah, this is too crunchy and slurpy to continue on. So, oh my God, we should raid someone. Honey Butters is on. Shall we jump over and say hi to Honey Butters? Jump across the ditch. Yeah, so there you go. There's 3 dishes, less than 2 hours, straight up. It's good stuff. Everybody has a good time, and I think, yeah, we'll aim to go again tomorrow. Don't know what the theme will be. Keen to give some more of the Necronom Nom Nom a go. I just got to work out whether or not I have to head down to the supermarket or the markets before we decide to do that. Anyway, if you haven't joined Discord, make sure you do. If you haven't followed the channel, make sure you do that too. Thanks to everyone who has followed, who has jumped in for the first time, who has donated bits. Always appreciated. Yeah, we will go ahead and raid Honey Butters. She's lovely, but I hope you like Final Fantasy. If you don't, if you don't, I got nothing for you. We'll catch you again very soon. 4, 3. Cheers, Wolfie. Bye for now.